Hello and welcome to today's 5-minute meditation. I come to you under the big Texas sky with the sound of summer all around me. I love sitting outside even when it's hot at this time of the year. Just listen to the sounds of what we call the locust all around us. It just reminds me of a simpler time when I was young, when life wasn't as hard and the worries were not as big. And so I would invite you in these few minutes that we have together now just to do the same. Just pause for a minute and reflect on a simpler time. Remind yourself of a time when life was slower, worries were fewer, and you could just really embrace each and every moment as it came. And as you're reflecting on that, let's just start to breathe together. Taking a nice, slow, deep breath in and a slow breath out. And a nice, slow breath in and exhale it out. And another breath in and a breath out. And I'd like just these few minutes that we have today to be about just that I began with. A simpler, calmer, less worrisome time in our lives. And I'd like to propose that we work through our meditation time in making that the kind of life that we live now. Rather than it just being something that we remember, that we reflect on fondly, or maybe even with a little bit of sadness because it feels so far away, maybe in our time, as we pause each day, we start working toward making that our normal. It begins with the breath. It's supported by the pause. And then it's sustained by the mindset shift that we're able to create in these moments. It doesn't happen fast. It doesn't happen overnight. But each time we show up, each time we have this thing called our meditation practice, that way of life becomes a little more like reality. We breathe, we pause, and instead of remembering a calmer, less worrisome, calmer time of life, we're able to sit or stand or lie and just bask in the fact that is our life now. And so let's just really just pause right here and breathe. You don't need a lot of words to fill up the space. The breath is enough. The pause is enough. For me, it's these sounds of these insects that reflect summer memories. Maybe for you, it's the sound of the wind in the trees, the sound of the water coming in on the beach, the sound of birds in that familiar tree outside your kitchen window. But I would encourage you to use the power of sound to remind you to pause. To use the power of sound to remind you to breathe, and to use the power of sound as a trigger for the cultivation of this calmer, less worrisome, less crazy way of life. They say that the way to really reset our mind are through the 3 senses of sight, smell, and sound. And each one of us probably responds a little differently to each of those, but just stand where you are and just listen. Let the sounds of traffic, of computers, of man-made created things around you, let those just fade into the background and connect to the sounds of nature. And let those sounds be your reset, your reminder of first, a quieter, simpler time from before, but then an assurance of a quieter, simpler time now. Namaste.